Hello, this is Claude with Smart Chain Connection, and this is our fourth video from the series on building and creating and running an Elrond node on either Mainnet or Testnet. It's pretty much the same process with a little bit of differences. We're going to talk about them at the right time. So right now we are building the server. We're making it secure. We're going to make it in such a way that we can connect to it securely, and then we're going to install the node, and I'll guide you through the entire process. So for now, we got to the point where we created a server on DigitalOcean hosting. This is just a VPS, but it's not recommended when you run an Elrond node. You want to go for a dedicated server, not a virtual private server, which shares the resources of a dedicated server with another or other VPSs, virtual private servers. You don't want that. You want to have your own dedicated resources from a server, which is the dedicated server. It's a little bit more expensive, that's true, but it's worth it. It's just a fraction of the incentive and the rewards you get as for running a node. So it's totally worth it to go for the quality, and this makes also the network stable and secure and solid. All right, so it's up to this point we just created the server in DigitalOcean. We were able to connect to it using the root and the password. Now we're gonna get to make it secure. That means we had to create another user. We made it gave the user, which is in our case Claude123, give him some permissions so he can do a bunch of stuff and not be limited, to kind of have the same permissions the root has. And the goal is to create the SSH keys and then disable the root access and only connect to the server with the SSH keys. Now we're at that stage of creating the SSH keys. For this we had to install MobaXterm and run it, and some other software, but we'll discuss about all of them. So we got to the point where on the first tab here we are connected we're connected to the server 143.198.110.5 to the user Claude123. This is the SSH connection to the server, and on the second tab this is the local connection to the machine, which is seeing actually the inside of the folder, which is SSH keys, right here on my desktop. These four things, one is a folder, the rest are files. So you can see this is a folder, the rest are files. Good. Now the next step is to create a folder in this home folder called .ssh. So we're gonna copy this, make directory -p home SSH, and let's create it. Everything looks good. Let's check it out. So ls-a, we can see right here. All right, now the next step is to generate two keys. Now one is going to be a private key, one is going to be a public key. The private key is going to be on your machine, the public key is going to be on the server. So you can generate the public key from the private key, but you cannot generate the private key from the public key. So in other words, your private key is really important and you gotta take care of it and not share it with anyone. So it's just for you. You should know where it's at, and you save it like you're saving a wallet's address, and not address but the keys to create the wallet and to access the wallet. All right, so the way we create this looks like this right here. Let's copy this and let's paste it here. Now what you want to do, I put here some description. So if you go with the arrows, I put the hosting company here _ed 25519. You can give it whatever name you want to, it doesn't matter. But what I'm suggesting is to use the company, but that's up to you. what I'm gonna do for now, I'm gonna use the digital ocean, so I know if I have multiple servers at different hosting companies, which one the keys are for. It's a lot easier for me to see. So I'm gonna use digital ocean, and then I'm gonna delete these things, underscore AD25519, and then I'm gonna use the same digital ocean, and I'm gonna use SSH key, right, like this. All right. Now when I go enter, these SSH keys will be generated, and I'll show you what happens. So we go enter. Now this is a piece of information that's really important, because this SHA-256 is not gonna work unless you have a passphrase, if you want to, if you choose to, or you can choose not to have any. It's your choice. In my experience, it is better to have an extra security, extra factor of security. So I would choose to have an extra factor of security here. So let's create a passphrase for us. All right, so let's use passphrase. Let's create one. Let's do Claude 1, 2, 3. All right, for the sake of this video. Let's add a. All right, let's use this. So copy, enter passphrase. I come right here, and I paste it. You can't see anything because when you type a password, you can't see anything in Linux. So go enter. Enter the same passphrase again. Let's right click again and paste. Enter. And it created the thing for me, which is a SHA-256, right? But that SHA-256 is not going to work without the passphrase, which is good. Now let's check the folders. So ls shows you what's inside a folder. Now you can see I can only see 4 things, but there is a .ssh folder as well. So for that to see all of them is ls space -a, and now I can see the .ssh. So let's go into it. So to go into it, go cd .ssh. It's gonna go inside that folder, and we're gonna look for what's inside ls-a. We're gonna see 2 files in here. This is one, and this is the second file. This is the private, this is the public. Now let's see in our folder, because the home folder for all this is SSH keys. So it's gonna be in SSH, and I see 2 files right here. Let's open them with Notepad++, so you can see what's inside. So this is the private key. It looks something like this: beginning of a private key at the end, and this is the private key. Now this, combined with your passphrase, is going to generate another string of 256 characters, and that's going to be the one used to open the server, to connect to the server. Let's open the public one. Edit with Notepad++, and this is the public key, and that's fine. Anyone can see this. Is not the end of the world. It's not gonna work without the private key. Okay, now let's close them. Good. So up to this point, we got the keys. Now we gotta add those keys to the SSH agent. Now this is how it's gonna work. We checked them, we saw the keys, they are both there, everything is fine. Now let's add them to the agent. So this is what you're gonna do. Run this command. Now this command it doesn't have single quotes, it has the back ticks, which are the key before key number 1 on your keyboard. Right, before key number 1 you have a lambda or whatever that is, like a wave, and underneath you have a back tick, and that's the tick, that's the back tick. Is not a single quote. Now let's run this. Everything looks good. Cool. Now let's run this command ssh add SSH add -L is going to show us if we have any agent added. Right now we don't have anything. Usually when you're trying this thing for many times, for multiple times, for multiple keys, that thing is going to add up and they're going to have lines after lines after lines of keys. What's important at this point is to not have anything. Let's pretend you have a ton of them. So the next step to do is to delete all of them, because you want to create a new clean key and not transfer to the server a bunch of keys, because that means even if you're not going to use the username and a password, you're not going to use a connection using root. Because you have multiple keys, that means there are multiple ways to connect to the server. So you don't want to have that. You only have one. You only want to have one way. So in order to delete and make everything clean, you go ssh-add -D, and this one deletes all the identities, which is fine. Right now we're on a clean slate, and now we're gonna add the keys. Let's copy this, paste. Now we know that our keys are called DigitalOcean_ed. So DigitalOcean_ed25519. This is the name we gave, if you remember, right here, or when we created it, which is right here when we generated the keys, home, and then we gave it this name, right? So this is the exact name we're gonna add right now. So let's go enter, and we need the passphrase. This is the passphrase, cloud123 and exclamation mark, and that's enter. So we see the identity added. Now let's check it. We go ssh-add-L, and now we can see it. It's a SHA-256, and it's added. This is what we're looking for. Cool. Now we have it. Now what we have to do, we have to transfer it to the server. The way you transfer it to the server, the way you copy it to the server, is by using this command, ssh-copyid, and then let's copy this, let's paste it here. Now what this should be doing, this should be, let's go here, right? So in the first stage says the new user name here. So let's delete this because that's not the new username. The new username we created is CLAUDE123 at the server IP address here. So let's delete all this and type the server IP, which is 143.198.110.5, right? Which is, oh, not 163, it's 143. Okay, 143.198.110. This is the IP, and this is the IP, and this is the new user. So you go new user at the IP. So SSH copy ID, because we got the SSH ID in. So this is how we checked it with SSH add. We get a list with -L, you get the list of them. So we got one of them. We got this one, and we want to copy it to the server. So this is what we're running this right now. So when I go enter, it's going to ask me for the passphrase, most likely. Let's wait for it. Good. And now it's asking me for the passphrase, which is right. Now let me get the passphrase, copy. All right, let's paste it here. Now let's see if we got it right. Yep. Go OK. All right. Being one key remain to install if you run in and standby profile. Now it's asking me for the password for Cloud123 to connect to the server, which this is the password for Cloud123. Let's copy it and let's paste it here. Paste. and go enter. Do you want to save? I don't want to save the password. And it's gonna go number of keys added 1. It says now log into the machine to check it. Now I'll show you something. I open this first tab connecting to the server. Now you remember we tried ls, where are you, -a somewhere. This is LA, but I messed it up and then I type ls. Anyway, so we'll try again and see ls-a. Now you see, compared to this initial result, we got this result right now, which has this extra folder. Now let's check the folder. So we go inside of it with cd space .ssh. Let's see what's inside. We see the authorized keys. Now to see the inside of a file, because folder is blue in this case for MobaXterm is blue and white is a file. So to go inside a file without changing, but just to look at it, you can go with cat space authorized underscore keys. I didn't type it right. Keys, not key. Keys. All right. Now I can see the exact key, the public key we had on our local machine. It is the one I'll show you. It is the one ls-a, and we go to cat digital ocean underscore ed25519.pub, and this is the one. This is the one, the public, and the one that's copied here is that one, the public one. See, the same thing. It's the public key that was transferred to the machine. All right. So this is the server, and we're checking on a different tab, and this is the tab we've been working on. All right. Now let's get back to our local machine here. So we created the keys, we generated the keys, we added them to the SSH, we copied them to the server, and now we can try to connect to the server using the SSH key only. So the way you do that is this: SSH space Claude 123 at the IP 143.198.110.5. Right? It even tells you, actually it even tells you here, now try logging in the machine into the machine with this command and check to make sure that only the keys you wanted were added. So we can connect to this SSH and space and go enter, and we are connected inside the server. Let's see what we got. ls-a, so we can see the whole thing. Let's go to ssh .ssh ls. Let's see that file, cat authorized underscore keys, and we can see the public key. All right, now to get out of the server, because this is from here down, we are connected to the server via SSH. Now we can get out of it to get back to the local machine. In order to get out of it, this is what you do. You do Control D. You do Control D, and it's gonna take you out. So get back here, Control D, and I'm logged out, and I'm back to the machine. Okay. Now I got the keys right here. SSH. I got these two keys, private and public, so I have them. I also got them on the server. We checked the server. We got them right here. We got the public, not both of them. The public on the machine on the server, so we're good. Okay. The next step is to convert those keys using the PuTTY we installed previously. Now, let's oh, I know what I did here. Yeah, let's copy the keys, let's convert them, and then we're gonna delete the folders, and we're gonna clean it up so we don't leave any traces here. Okay, so the way we do this, let's go to SSH keys, double click it, we'll go inside the .ssh folder, we're gonna copy the keys, copy for now, copy. Let's create another folder here for us. You call it whatever you want to. Now let's copy my SSH keys digital ocean. Alright. Let me open this folder and let me paste the private and the public keys I just created because I need these. Now, okay, now let me close it really quick. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna delete the entire. Let me get out of the server. So let me log out. I think exit works. Yeah, I'm logged out. Okay. Restart, exit, return. Okay, so now I'm out. Now I'm on the local server. Let's see where I'm at. Unless I'm inside. Let's get out. To get out of the folder is cd space ... Takes you out of a folder. Let's look ls-a. I want to delete the .ssh folder, but before that, I want to delete every key that's inside the SSH. So to do that, ssh-add space -l. It gives me 1. To delete all of them is ssh-add -D. All have been removed. Let me check if they were. Now, in order to go to a previous command you had, you just go arrow up or down, and just go arrow up on the keyboard, and let me check. No identities. Now I'm good. I can delete the folder. In order to remove this folder -ssh, you gotta force it a little bit. So rm means remove, -rf. I forgot what everyone means, but in other words, it's forcing to remove the content, all the insides of the folder, and not ask you for permission, but just go for it. Okay, and I'm gonna delete SSH folder, so I'll go for it, and then just delete it. Let's check if it's clean. Oops, ls-a. I don't see the SSH, so it's been deleted. Let me check the SS physical on the server. On the computer is not there anymore. Good. Now we got the keys in here. We got the keys on the server, the public key, and now what we have to do, we got to use puttygen.exe. Now, in order to use that on a Windows machine, because we installed it in the beginning, if you remember, or the previous video, you hit home, you hit the Windows key on your keyboard, and you start typing PuTTY-gen. You're not gonna see it because the section of this screen I'm recording is in the middle of my huge 55 4K screen, so you're not gonna see that corner. But anyway, so I hit Windows, and I'm PuTTY-gen, and I'm gonna click on that app, and that's gonna open this file, this app for me. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go load. It's gonna open up a bunch of stuff, and I'm gonna go to my desktop and open my SSH keys, and I'm gonna find, click on this arrow to see all the files. All right, you find the private one, which is DigitalOcean_ED25519, and you double click it or click open. But you're not going to see it unless you click all files to see all files, right? Open. Now it's going to ask me for the passphrase. Passphrase is this: cloud123 exclamation mark. Let's copy. Let's paste it here. Then go OK. Now it's successfully imported. Okay, we got it. Now, in order to save it, it even tells you what to do. To click Save Private Key. So right now we got it. Everything is loaded. So we click Save. And I'm gonna choose to call it DigitalOcean Converted. Let's call it that. And then save. Alright. It should work. Let's see if we saved it. Yes, now we have 3 files, and this is the one we're looking for. Okay. Now we got the private, public, and this is the converted PPK file, because this is what you're going to use when you connect. Alright. Okay, I think we can close this. We can close the MobaXterm. We're good. Now let's try to connect to the server using the key. So we're going to go with PuTTY, our old friend PuTTY. We need the IP address, so copy this, paste it right here. And then we go to SSH, click the plus, click auth, click browse, and go to, in my case, it's the desktop, and where I put my keys right here, and I choose the PPK. We just converted with the PuTTY generator, right? And we click on open, and it's gonna look like this. It's gonna ask us for the username. Our username is Cloud123. Let's paste it, which is right click, go enter, and it says authenticating with the public key, DigitalOcean SSH key, which is perfectly fine, because this is what we worked on to get it to authenticate with the public key, with the key, right? And now it's asking us for the phrase. So phrase is Cloud123. Exclamation mark, and then we're gonna paste, right click once and go enter. So we see we're able to log into the server with the digital key, right, with the public key, and now in the passphrase. Now what we're gonna do in the next videos, we're gonna stop, we're gonna disable the root access, we're gonna change the port and all that. So everything is gonna be a combination of quite a lot of things, so people cannot just try to access your server and succeed, because everybody tries root connection, or is going to try, just because they know your IP or something like that, they're going to try to access your server and just steal your stuff and mess up your node. That's why we make it so secure, and we're not there yet, but we're working our way there. So I'm going to stop this video for now, and we're going to continue with the next steps